Good morning, students. In today's class, we're going to take up the third story prescribed in the syllabus, Dr. Heidegger's Experiment by Nathaniel Hawthorne. Before we begin with the story, let me tell you a few lines about the author. Nathaniel Hawthorne was an American writer who wrote many short stories and novels. He gained eminence and fame with the most famous novel, The Scarlet Letter. The particular story that is in your syllabus, Dr. Heidegger's Experiment, is an interesting story which deals with the lives of 4 men and a doctor, though all the 5 men and women are related to each other. The story is very interesting because it is a reflection of how human nature is incorrigible and what happens when 4 old people are given a chance to get back young again, given the warning that they are not going to repeat the same mistake that they had committed when they were young. They still indulge into all those mistakes again, and when the story finishes, they are wanting to go after the water of the fountain of youth, which is going to keep them young. Now, as the title suggests, Dr. Heidegger is a doctor who is fond of performing unique and different things. He has a passion and affinity for conducting experiments which are not according to the norm. They are experiments in which he traps a mouse inside a microscope or something of that unusual kind. Now, the experiment that he is going to perform is a unique experiment in which he requires the support of all his friends who are now old. Let me tell you what the experiment is. The experiment is that 4 people, 3 men and a woman, who are, when the story begins, are old people, are made to sit on the table, and on the table is placed a vase of water which appears to be shining and which appears to be having some magical qualities. And the magical quality that the vase possesses, the liquid that is there in that is that it has the capacity and the ability to turn old into young. Now, the experiment that the doctor wishes to perform is that he wants to see that when these 4 old people pass again through their youth, do they rectify themselves, or are they going to commit the same mistake that they had committed when they were once upon a time young? Though the warning is issued by the doctor before he begins with the experiment, and before he allows the people to start drinking those glasses of the magical liquid, he tells them that I have only one request to you, and the request is that you are not going to indulge into any of those mistakes which you committed when you were young. And all of them willingly agree, yes, we are not going to do it, doctor, but please give us the magical liquid quickly. What happens when they drink the liquid? Do they turn young again? Are they able to retain their normal behavior, or do they indulge into something unusual which is on their behavior part? This is the second part of the story that we'll take tomorrow. But in today's story, we begin with the 2 interesting episodes of the story. The first paragraph deals with the description of those 4 people who are called into the study by Dr. Heidegger, or basically those 4 people on whom the experiment is to be conducted. And the second paragraph is an interesting paragraph in the story which describes the study of Dr. Heidegger. The study is an important part of the story because it is the description of the study that makes Dr. Heidegger unique and different from the rest of the doctors. To begin with, let us take the description of the 4 people on whom the experiment is to be conducted. When the story begins by Nathaniel Hawthorne, he says that 4 people had been invited by a common friend, that is Dr. Heidegger, for an experiment that he wishes to perform. Now, the names of these 4 people are Mr. Medbourne, Colonel Killigrew, Mr. Gascoigne, and the 4th is a lady, Widow Wycherley. These 4 people are, when the story begins, are old people, but as you progress through the story, you come to know that all these people have connections with the past. Now, all these 4 people connecting their past and the present, they have uniqueness to their character. Mr. Medbourne, in the prime of his youth, had been a very prosperous merchant. But because of some wrong decision, because of some whim, because of some fancy that he took regarding his business deals and transactions, he suffered a huge loss, and his condition was no better than a beggar. The second character, Mr. Colonel Killigrew, had spent the best time of his years in indulging into the vices of the body and others. And the present situation of this man was now he was undergoing or he was having different kinds of pain, gout, and all those problems. The third character, Mr. Gascoigne, was a ruined politician. He once upon a time during his prime years had been a very shrewd politician, but because of some political misunderstandings and miscalculations, he did not enjoy the same reputation that he once did when he was young. Now, the fourth character that is connected to these three men is a woman who is titled as the widow Wycherley. And the writer describes that this widow had been once upon a time a very beautiful lady when she was young. And the worst part of this particular lady was that she was alone. And wherever she went to live, she was shunted out of the place after some time because of the scandalous stories that were attached to her regarding her character and her disposition. So when we go through the description of all the four characters, we realize this: Mr. Medbourne, Colonel Killigrew, Mr. Gascoigne, and widow Wycherley, though they had a good youth, they enjoyed their youth, we can say, in other words, they indulged in all kinds of vices which they could in terms of money, in terms of character, and according to the past, it appears that the present was not good as they had expected it to be. The one other link between all these four people is that it is believed and it is narrated by the writer that it is said that all these three men, Mr. Medbourne, Colonel Killigrew, and Mr. Gascoigne, at one point of the time, all the three were madly in love with the widow Wycherley, and they were so much so in love with her that they were ready to cut each other's throat to have her company and to stay close to her. So all these four people who had been brought by Dr. Heidegger for the experiment that he is about to perform have a past that is not good, and the present is as bleak as the past is. So four people are all connected together. All these four people are tired of their present because of their financial problems, because of their physical problems, because of the traumas of mind and soul and heart and body, whatever it is. And they have been brought purposely by Dr. Heidegger because he is wanting to perform the experiment on them, which is going to take them back to the times of the youth. Now, the first part of the story is the description of all these four people and how they are connected with each other to the past and to the present. The second part of the story deals with the study of Dr. Heidegger. Dr. Heidegger is a unique doctor because unique in the sense that his study, the description of which the writer has given in one full page, is a curious place where there are two or three different things which need your attention. The first thing is that when you enter the room, it is dim, it is covered with cobwebs, there is a lot of dust around the room, there is hardly any light into that room, and when you enter, you will find large volumes and folios of books. The second interesting part of this particular study is that there is a closet, the door of which is ajar, and there is a skeleton hanging inside. And it is believed by the people that when somebody is wanting to peep into that particular closet, the skeleton starts rattling, and the second opinion and the second story circulated about that is that it is believed that the spirits of the doctor's deceased patients are into that particular closet. Now, the third interesting part of this study is a huge ponderous book, black with silver clasps, and this book, according to the stories, is considered or told to be the book of magic. And one more thing which needs mentioning is that in this particular story is the bust of Hippocrates, and it is believed that the doctor, whenever he was in some sort of problem regarding his medical profession, he used to hold consultations with the bust of Hippocrates. Now, the book of magic that we have discussed a few seconds earlier is a unique book because it is believed that once a maid, when she was cleaning the room, she happened to pick up that book. And when she picked up that book, a number of horrific things started happening in the study. The skeleton in the closet started rattling. The bust of the Hippocrates says, "Forbear, stop." And these magical things started happening the moment that book of magic was lifted. So the book of magic, I'll read a few lines in which it is said that when the chambermaid lifted it, what happens is only to brush away the dust. Now see what all magical things started happening. The door, the skeleton had rattled in the closet. The picture of the lady had stepped 1 foot upon the floor. Several ghastly faces had peeped forth from the mirror, while the head of the Hippocrates frowned and said, "Forbear." The study has not only the closet which has the skeleton inside, the bust of the Hippocrates, the book of magic, but there is one more thing which is a part and parcel of that study, is that on one side of the study is a huge portrait of a lady in her bridal wear. Though the silk and the brocade has faded, but it is believed that this is the picture of the same lady whom Dr. Heidegger was wanting to marry. But because of some abnormality that she had in her character, she had swallowed the prescription of her lover, that is the doctor, and she died on the day of her marriage. So the first and the second part of the story, which also has short questions on it, the first paragraph describes you the description of all the 4 people that are going to be the part and parcel of the experiment that Dr. Heidegger wishes to conduct. And the second part is the description of the study of Dr. Heidegger, both of them unique in their own way. So this much for today's class. Tomorrow we are going to take up the story, the remaining part of the story. Plus, we will take back a recap of all the 2 important episodes that we have discussed in the story today. Thank you, students.